What's up, guys? Hi, I'm Jules. It's time for another FlossTube interlude where I try and answer the questions and comments and things like that that you guys have left me since the last question and answer session. It is January 20th. We just got back from our slightly extended weekend celebrating our anniversary. We were up in Estes Park, actually, Colorado, and it was a lot of fun. We've been up there several times and had a good time. But the dogs are very excited that we're back home, so I might have to periodically pause the video when they kind of go crazy a little bit. So we're going to try and be a bit more efficient with the stitch or with the question and answering stuff, but we will kind of see. One of the comments here. Oh wait, before I start that, so I got fabric. We stopped by a stitching shop the other day on our way out of town and picked up fabric. We're going to talk about that on the weekly update and a few other things that happened, but I'm not going to talk about that today. That's going to happen on the weekly update there. So first question up, what count fabric am I using on the Ronnie Rowe? 18 count. 18 count Ada is what I always use. It's just I've used it on my other 3 Ronnie Rows, and I just like the uniformity of it. So that's, to me, that's like the best thing to do it. I use DMC. Just DMC 310. That's all you can do it with. There's other questions that talk about doing a Ronnie Rowe with different colors. You could totally mix it up and do different colors. I like the more traditional look, so that's why I would probably stick with the black, but I mean, why can't you change colors? It would be really cool, especially like if you were doing the US Capitol and you kind of did like a red, blue, maybe a little bit of white sprinkled in throughout kind of look. But I'm not artistic enough to be able to figure out how to do that, but if somebody else does it, I want to see a picture. That would be great. Okay, yeah, wildly colored Ronnie Rowe. Yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic. Alrighty, I'm going to periodically pause this so that it's more efficient. Okay, so Main Stitcher, who I think you're a new either you're new or you're a new commenter. Thank you for commenting. As a spinner of yarn, DMC thread does not have a direction, so when you separate your strands, you don't have to turn one strand the opposite way. The twist is the same no matter what direction you put it in. The reason it does work is that you're removing some of the twist that was put in when the singles were plied together. The singles are spun in one direction. Then when they are applied together, you spin in the opposite direction. That makes a lot of sense. We were talking about some different how to take the twist out of a DMC, or yeah, twist out of the DMC. Sorry, guys. Cool. Karen actually Karen gives 2 recommendations: John James needles, John James gold needles, which I do have some of those somewhere. I do have some of those. She loves. She thinks they're great. And she actually said that Anchor Black, so the Anchor thread black, is far superior to DMC. That's awesome. That's very cool. I mean, I'm kind of a DMC kind of person, but I've never even looked at Anchor floss and whatnot. So Sue King from Greece. Hello to Greece. I have a question for you. You said, have I thought about doing a tag during my stitch along? What kind of a tag? I'm not sure if you're talking about like a video tag or, yeah, I'm not sure. Nice. Everybody has their opinions about, I like this, no, I like that. You know what? You do what you like. Like we always say, there is no cross-stitching police. You just do what feels good, and if it totally works out, then it works out. That's all good. If I seem like I'm tired today, as I kind of am, because I had trouble sleeping I had trouble sleeping because it took like a 2-hour nap at 3 o'clock, but I didn't get to sleep till like 1:30 or something, and then I got up like at, I don't know, 7 or something like that this morning, so I was excited to get home. So but that's all good. Donna, hi Donna, who's new. Hi Donna. You're back stitching after a 15-year break. That is awesome. Fantastic. We're catching on to a lot of people that are coming back to cross-stitching after being gone for a long time. That is awesome. Ah, nice. So Angela from the UK. Hello. Ronnie Rowe does ship to the UK. So if you guys are out of the country, check with them, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. How about Joy Campbell asked, how about a live video? Possibly. It would be definitely like a live question and answer kind of a thing. I haven't really figured out how to do a setup for that yet. I mean, I could probably just do this, but I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. So Annette wrote and said, your delinquent cat once got to your cross stitch and ate the needle. Eventually, it turned up, came out in the poo. That's funny. So I'll tell you guys a vet story. I don't hardly ever do this, but so I once actually had a cat come in where the owner was convinced that the cat had gotten into her stitching and whatnot, and that she had a needle and some thread that was missing, and she was sure the cat had eaten it. So I brought the cat in. She brought the cat in, and I looked at it. When I actually opened its mouth up, there was a needle that was literally like an inch and a half long. I mean, it was a huge needle, and it had basically, and what had happened was it was pushed into the roof of the mouth, but it was pushed in at an angle like this, so it was up in this direction. But thankfully, it was still there. So all I had to do was just take an instrument, open up the mouth, have somebody else open up the mouth, grab it very gently, ease it out. The hard palate is not always very it's not that sensitive. So I removed it, and then I started pulling out the thread, and I ended up, I think I pulled out about a foot long of thread out of that cat's esophagus, basically, which, to be perfectly honest with you, that was probably a lifesaver. Her catching that and bringing the cat in, thread like that can absolutely get caught up in a cat's intestines, and without surgery can definitely kill them. So that was actually pretty cool. But anyway, that reminds me of that particular story. Tammy Neal was asking, am I going to do the Ronnie Rowe Capitol building? I think this was right before I started it. So I did start it. Haven't worked on it this week so far, but I have started it. Vicky Caps just ordered 2 patterns from Cross Stitch Collectibles. Apparently, there's maybe sale going on for the month of January. I'm not sure if there's still a sale or not, but if you guys are interested in Cross Stitch Collectibles, there's a link below, and check them out. I did a post, if you're new, I did a post on my blog last week, I think it was. I'm all out of sorts since we've been gone a few days, but I did a post about the four mega cross stitch pattern sites. They're the biggest ones that are out there. I'm still going to do I'm still going to do lists for other cross stitch sites. There are so many great ones out there. I don't want to do like a post with like 100 sites. I may do like, here are the next 10 sites. Have you seen these? And then maybe another one, here are the next 10 sites. That kind of break it up so that, you know, if you do like 50 on one thing, people are going to get overlooked, people are going to get missed. But if you just put out like, okay, here's another 10, and you go take a look at those guys, and then here's another 10. And so I just might keep doing that for a while, but maybe have a theme or something with those. But I got to get on top of that. I had plans on writing while I was gone. I had an older laptop that I hadn't used in, I don't know, a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. And I had took it up there with me. I was like, why do I not use this anymore? And I booted it up when I was at home, and everything seemed to work okay. But when I got it up there, I was able to use it for a little bit to do a little bit of writing, and then like yesterday morning, it kind of crashed on me, and we worked on it all day. And in the end, we figured out we think the hard drive is kind of, and so may have to replace that if I want to keep writing with it. But I got to get some posts up on. By the time you guys see this, hopefully I'll have a couple posts up on the blog. All right. Tapestry needles. I've been looking for tapestry needles, and I still haven't found them. Oh yeah, there is a place up in Estes called the Stitching Den. And if you're ever in Estes Park, so this is mostly for the local Colorado people, it's a really, really cool place. It's kind of right off of the main street there, really close to Claire's on the Park, if you've ever seen that there. It's a gigantic, it's a really cool store. It's almost all yarn. There's a ton of classes that she does with knitting and things like that. But there is a section for cross stitch, and the coolest thing is she has all the cross stitch floss. So that was cool because there was this one skein that I needed, this one number I needed to kind of work on Reaper, and I was able to get it from her, so I was able to continue work on it. So that was pretty cool. So nice. Joni Hall. Most of your family is from Rome, Georgia. That's very cool. That's where Berry College is, I believe. I had a couple friends from high school that went there since I grew up in Georgia. Cherokee County. All right. So P.E. Stitcher. So you guys are wondering if the pencil, if the graphite pencil will actually wash out on my fabric. I do need to check that. I do need to look at that. I haven't done that yet. For the most part, almost everything I'm using it on is full coverage, so it won't matter. Nobody will see it regardless. But that being said, I am using it on Ronnie Rowe, so I think that I probably ought to check it. I probably should. I'll have to do that soon. There's Topher. Hold on. This is great. Actually, there's two things that are great. So Janet Faith, I was looking for a particular Ronnie Rowe piece and ended up getting two of them. Williamsburg 1776 and Market Square Tavern. I have both of those. I've done both of those. They're on my stitchy wall. That's awesome. You worked at Michael's for 10 years and you have half of the store in your craft room. Nice. Oh, you found all kinds of patterns when you went and looked through them. That's great. Now, the next comment was also really good. Ariana, beautiful name. A thought for the missing pattern piece for E Pluribus Unum is called the Con Mary method. Basically, it's a method of tidying where you pile everything into a central location and then go through that pile. Yeah, I did that with upstairs where everything was. I put everything in a pile and I still hadn't found it. It still could be down here, but I think I've kind of figured out exactly how to still stitch those remaining letters that I need and numbers. I've gridded it out on the pattern. I think I can go ahead and do that. And then Ariana also asked if I considered reaching out to the Etsy shop from where I bought it. I bought it from, I think it's an Erica Michaels chart, and I'm sure I could get it. You know, for the most part, if you're missing a piece of a chart that you bought from someone, usually you can go ahead and get that, unless it's been like out of print and they lost it or something like that. Because I've been helped with the Reaper project and a few others. I've been able to get pieces that I've missed or have lost over the years, and that's really, really awesome. Joanne says if I needed a week off after that Bears loss, she wouldn't blame me. Hey, you know what? The Bears season, the Chicago Bears season was way better than I ever expected. So it was a success. So Betty, originally from Oklahoma, diehard Sooner fan, moved up by Cleveland for 25 years. Diehard Browns fan. So imagine my joy when Baker went to Cleveland. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love my Baker Mayfield. He's so cute. He's awesome. Alrighty. Jackie Feeney, got a Ronnie Rowe. Hey, it just starts. You know, I enable so many people, and you guys enable each other. So once you start getting a few things, it's all good. All right, we still have snow on the ground outside, so all the dogs are running around in the snow. And a neighbor about 3 doors down, was walking their dog out of the back of their house, and so all of our dogs have to comment upon it while they're outside. And we're supposed to get like 3 to 5 inches tomorrow night, as for what I understand. So that would be awesome. It snowed a little bit while we were up in Estes. It was really pretty, but it wasn't as much. We want more. Danette from South Louisiana. Wow, how South Louisiana. That's awesome. Wow, you're also doing a Ronnie Rowe, and you lucked out and got 9 of his pen and ink designs for $66. It was a great deal. Yeah, you can actually. Ronnie, if you like the pen and ink designs, there's a whole thing about getting a collection of them. He'll sell them like in a collection, and you get them a lot cheaper than if you buy them individually. So, nice. Very cool. All right. So I have a few of you guys on here that are Cleveland Indians fans. You guys should check out the Boston Needleworks stitching site. I think it's just bostonneedleworks.com, because they have sports patterns on there, and I think they had a few Indians ones if you guys wanted to do something like that. Sharon says loves the new pet channel. Yeah, we started up the pet channel, got some new videos. Literally, I think I just might. I'll have to see what you guys said, because I know I asked you for comments later in this thing. Woo! I just got a little dizzy doing this. Nice. Oh yeah, and my thumb kind of healed up, pretty much while I was gone, moisturizing it. Moisturization. Nice. So Crypt Chicks Crypt. That is a little hard to say. Posting a FlossTube on another way of parking because she explained it so well. Somebody might enjoy. That's awesome. I'll have to go take a look at it. Oh, wait, notes. I'll have to go take a look at it. Pen, notes. Parking video. Awesome. Yeah, Izzy Fawcett uses a, I talked about using a clipboard with like a space like inside of it that you could open, store some pages, your pages for your patterns, all the different patterns I have, and close it, and then just bring out like, say, the one that you wanted to work on. And I honestly, I use a, because she's talking about using just a regular clipboard. If you have a couple of projects, even up to like 4 or 5, that would be just fine. But with all the ones that I have, the longer the pages are out, the more they kind of get messed up. So I have to be careful about that. So I keep them in just a regular folder until I want to bring them out. But I might get that special clipboard thing at some point. We'll see. She says, just take care when using a highlighter in case it soaks through the paper. Guess how I know about this? Yes, you must be careful about the highlighter. Can't go crazy. Can't press too hard with it, you know? People are funny. Susan says, Dachshund is coming to life. I got a lot of work done on Dachshund. I got some work done on Dachshund. I got so much stitched on reading Waterloo Place while I was gone. I probably got like 500 stitches done in just like a couple of days. It's crazy. Donna's back. Donna Neal's back. Moving and planning another in a few weeks. Whoa, that's crazy. Artisty Cross Stitch. Oh yeah, Artisty is another great cross stitching site. Am I on the Facebook group? You know, I'm not a real big Facebooker. I used to be, but really I'm not anymore, and I just can't keep up with it. I used to be on, or maybe I'm still on, but I just don't see the posts for the stash site where people would like sell stash that they found and stuff. But I'm just like, it was too enabling. I just can't. I can't keep doing this. Can't keep buying stuff. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. It's all good. Nice. Nice. Who is moaning?
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, is it Bailey?
She's over by the door.
Yeah, can't. Somebody's like, ooh. Christine's from Cornwall. Cornwall. I mean, I know that's in Great Britain, and so, but that's awesome. Nice. Michelle wants me to use super glue. I've had a lot of people wanting me to use super glue on the split. It doesn't stay, and a lot of the reason why it doesn't stay on me is because, especially with my work, I'm constantly doing so many things with my thumb, and I'm getting it wet all the time. Sorry, I have a incoming spam call that I gotta decline. It's too early in the day on a Sunday to get hit with spam calls. Sharon is doing the Epic Pokemon Generation 1. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I'm not a Pokemon fan, thank goodness, because otherwise I'd probably have to stitch this, right? Oh, nice. That is awesome. Cynthia ordered her first large product. It's a Haid, Dreams of Atlantis. That is so awesome. You got to kit it up. That's awesome. It's 450 by 365. That is definitely a big project. That's awesome. Man, I keep getting stuff on my phone. People don't realize I'm filming a video. Oh yeah, and I also worked on the Bears project on the way up. Guys texting me.
Suzu that's making it.
Oh, she's okay. I think Zuzu overate while we were gone. Her belly is huge. She needs to go on a diet and some exercise here soon. It's getting fat. We're all getting too much. Nice. Sharon Worm loves how I have changed the blog and the articles. I do get comments. I see all that stuff. So I'm definitely trying to change the blog so that the focus is more on like the interlude videos, like the things that I answer when you guys have questions. When I see questions, the same questions a lot, I know that there are a lot of people that just want to know these answers. So I'm trying to answer those on the blog when I can, and still do my progress on my stuff and put pictures up, but not make that the focus of the blog going forward. I think it'll just be easier for me to keep up with. I hope. Goldie Fishels. Fishels? Is that how you say that name? Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. Oop. I gotta heart that baby. Gotta heart that baby. I joined that Discord channel. I still need to check it out because this is the first time that I've been. We talked before in one of the videos about there is a Twitch cross-stitcher. Twitch channel is like it's kind of like YouTube, but it just does it focuses mostly on video games and live stuff. So there's a cross-stitcher who has a channel who is, I guess, pretty popular. I still need to follow up on that, but I went ahead and joined her Discord. Discord is basically sort of like a station of chat. Like I think you can do audio if you enable it, but a lot of it's just text and stuff. And so right now, like stuff keeps popping up on the corner of my screen when people are writing stuff in, but I just got I still got to keep an eye on it and kind of make sure that it looks like it's something that you guys would appreciate. And if it is, then I'm going to definitely pass all that info along, because I know there's a lot of people that love to reach out and connect with other people who cross stitch. So that is awesome. Annette Aker broke down and started her own full coverage project. Mystic Stitch, Sherlock, and Watson. Cool. That is awesome. Oh, and you ordered baseball. Oh, I gotta get working on baseball. Poor baseball. It's the off season, right? That's no excuse. That's no excuse. I'm getting some yays for a long version video on the pet channel. I think you guys love the birds so much, I'll put a long version of the birds chirping away. Nice. Christine Fox, how you doing? I hope you see this. I commented on your comment for me because you've been watching for a while, but you never commented. You like puzzles, and you have the panoramic Ravensburger puzzle of Wonders of the World. You've completed the 24,000 piece life puzzle. Used to be the world's largest. I have an issue with go big or go home, period. Like that should be on my tombstone, honey. I'm not gonna get buried probably, but that should be like that's like the theme of my life pretty much. It's go all the way or don't do it at all. So I'm a big jigsaw. Well, I used to be a big jigsaw puzzle fan, and I still look at jigsaw puzzle sites all the time. And the largest I ever completed was a 9,000 piece puzzle of the Sistine Chapel ceiling. We have talked about getting the 44,000, 42? Oh yeah, we just got 2 more puzzles, but yeah, it's like 40 something thousand. It was a Disney, it's a Disney puzzle, and it looks amazing. And because I think it's got to be like 4,000 pieces each. It's like a collection of scenes, and I think it might be like 40,000, because I think each section is like 4,000 pieces. So usually when you get like a gigantic puzzle box, when it's like that, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll go ahead and they'll have bagged up each section individually, so you don't necessarily have to go through everything and start over. But we just got when we were up in Estes, there's this great store. It's like a puzzle store. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, But the guy had, we've always, every time we go up there, we go to the store and got some new puzzles. I'll show you on Thursday. But they're kind of like the one puzzle I got. Gosh darn it. It was the puzzle that the, like the Broadway, not Broadway musicals, but the old movies. That's what it was. And I got, I got one that was Civil War, and then I can't remember what the other one is. But anyway, so there we go. Nice. Lori Cole. Hey, Lori! I stopped by and talked to Christine, and so I wanted to say hey back. And so, because I know that you called in and talked to her and everything. Yeah, so you got your 18 count Ada from a stitching shop, and you were so happy with how soft it already was. There is a difference in quality of Ada, and typically, especially if you're ordering from a stitching shop, they're not carrying like the cheaper versions of Ada. They're carrying good stuff. They're carrying stuff that I will use, that I love, that feels good, stuff like this that already comes. Oh, this is Stormtrooper, by the way. Hello, Stormtrooper. Anyway, so, but anyway, you guys are awesome. Cassandra has 8 whips going on right now. That's awesome. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Dragon Dance. Lori's working on Dragon Dance. Huh. That's awesome. I've never heard of that. I wonder who makes that. Oh no, the link to the zoo page isn't working. I gotta double check that on my things. No, it must work. I have to go and check that out. Let's pull up some stuff. And Angela looked at the Pain-Free Charts site, Paine. So just Google Pain-Free Charts. They have an Etsy store now, I believe. They do some amazing things. Amazing things. What's up, NM Stitching Demon? Yeah. Poor bears. Poor dub bears. It's okay. We wouldn't have gone very far. We're not that good yet. Nice. Oh, Susan bought her first full coverage piece from Cross Stitch Collectibles. It just popped up on her Facebook page and spoke to her. That's a little creepy. No, I mean not literally, right? And so Monet Water Lilies 4. That sounds really beautiful. That's really awesome. Nice. 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 Zayden's giving me all kinds of tips for the crickets for the gecko. And, you know, I totally, I'm only getting like 4 or 5 at a time now, and I put them in there, and then when I don't see him anymore, that's when I get more. But I don't know how much he eats. I don't really know how much he eats. It's hard to know because he only eats at night. That's definitely where like a night vision video would be good. I also have a food mix that I leave out for him that I make, the Pangea stuff, and where's Pangea? But he has plenty of stuff, and so I don't know if he's getting to. I hope he's hunting. He wasn't a hunter before we got him, Carter the gecko, but he was definitely. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm hoping that now that he's in the gigantic terrarium, that he's developing more of an instinct to hunt and get them. So all I can see is whether or not the crickets are alive or not. And I put them straight into his terrarium with him after I dusted them, because they're basically you know, they can get their food and water from in there, and they're growing and they look good, and they're pre-fed. It's important when you're giving crickets to your whatever's going to eat them that they get fed, so they have nutrients inside of them, so that passes along to the creature that is eating them. I just got distracted because Deborah Sue just got Stormtrooper from Diana70 on Etsy last night. Bought all the FlossTube at Michael's. Tomorrow you will grid your fabric and hopefully get started. Stitching it for your youngest son for Christmas present. Good luck in finishing it. I gotta tell you, page 1 and page 2 are a bear. But for those people who have gotten past that, it gets a lot easier. So just get through the confetti stuff as quickly as you can, and then smooth sailing after page 1 and 2. So I'm almost about halfway through with page 2. I definitely need to get more done on it. All right. Oh, nice. Okay. So, nice. Okay, so Kimberly was telling me that I didn't have auto captioning on one of my Stitch With Me videos, and I enable it. I don't necessarily put anything on it myself. Like, I don't do anything with that because I certainly can't transcribe those videos. Whoa, everything just moved. But thankfully, Ariana came in and said that if you want the captioning, you may not be able to see it on the first day, but after a little bit, if you come back, the captioning will be there. So it may take, it literally will take YouTube, just like it takes Google a while to recognize anything new. It takes a little bit of time for it to kind of process through their system so they can get their own captioning kind of enabled. Wait, I have new jokes. Honey, I'm going to get these wrong. I have new jokes. I have new jokes. Okay, I have new jokes. So, first joke is, what does Simba say to his son when he's not moving fast enough? Mufasa! And then, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm like, okay, we're going to spread jokes out, all right? You can't give you all the greatness all at once. Mufasa. What? Lori, for a fun gift for my husband, I got him a screaming goat. It's the most laughs I've had in years. More info, please. I like goats. Nice. Nice. Tammy got her first Ronnie Rowe, too. Who dat? Why are you saying who dat? Nice. Mandy Parker really likes cross-stitch collectibles. You stitched Fractal 252. I'm sure that's incredibly comfortable. I had a whole thing last week about how I had all these predictions about the football games, and I'm pretty sure I got most of it wrong. So I've stopped doing predictions, or at least talking about it as much. Nice. Super Peace Rose. Okay, this is directed to Super Peace Rose's husband. Hello, husband. Mr. Super Peace Rose. What NHL team is my favorite? It's the Blues. We have the Blues this year. I'm not even watching the Blues this year. They're not the team that I love. They're not the team that I know. I know I should support them regardless, but I cannot, let me turn this a little bit more. I cannot depress myself that way. But there's a lot of other teams. I like Toronto. I like Colorado, obviously. Been watching a bit more Carolina. A little more Buffalo. That's about, no. Winnipeg. I like Winnipeg, too. Yeah, always talking about the sports. It's funny, he stops and listens. I'm not doing a sports channel. Years ago, I actually did a writing for Yahoo. They had an associate's program, or some kind of writer's associate's program, where you could be like a contributor. And so it's more like a fan perspective. And I wrote a lot back then. And honestly, you probably can still find some of my stuff, because it's still up there. I was under Sporting Jules. That was my name. So if I put Sporting Jules and throw it up there, Twitter didn't do anything. Everybody's talking about this Formula One driver. Let's go Sporting Jules Manning, because I wrote a lot about Peyton Manning. No, now it's talking about Jules Manning. I guess it's been too old. Let me write Peyton Manning. Oh, I wrote Peyton Manning with 3 N's. That's why it didn't work. And yeah, everything's too old. It's gone now. And so, anyway, it was really, it was a lot of fun back then, and I enjoyed sports a whole lot, but I just don't have time with everything else going on. But anyway, that's what I did way back when. I always got to be doing like 5 other things besides work and stitching. So, Penny Fisher asked, when I am marking off on my charts, do I highlight the stitches you're going to stitch and then highlight with a different color? I don't. I think that there are people who do, and there are people who commented on that's what they do. My problem is that I get interrupted a fair bit if I'm stitching, especially if I'm stitching downstairs with a dog. So if I go in and now sometimes I do, like if Stormtrooper actually works really well to do that, to pre-highlight, but my problem is that I'm constantly changing highlighter color, so I don't always know, like if I've used purple before and I'm using purple again, I'm not really great at that. So that's the problem with that. And that's just more work for me. I don't have time. I got so much to stitch. So much to stitch. Novice Stitcher was asking me, we were talking about the stickers that I got for, I don't think I have them around here, the stickers that I got for the Scarlet Quince project. Those are specific to Scarlet Quince. Now, there may be other cross-stitch sites that do that. I haven't found those yet, but they'll probably be out there. But because Scarlet Quince does so much blended thread, blended floss projects, they will actually send you the little stickers to make it easier for you to organize your stuff, and that comes in so handy. I did work on Tower of Babel while I was gone, too. So... Ariana gave me a long diatribe. I talked in my last stitch with me. I talked about Apple a lot, and yeah, we're on the same page with that. I like it. Sheila took a long, hard look at Apothecary Shop from the close-up picture. It really is beautiful. I am telling you guys, when I get more of this done, like another, you guys are gonna be like, whoa! I have wanted to do this and get this done for such a long time. Doogie, you got a bone? Doogie got a bone. Vicky Mavis. Oh, Vicky, I'm gonna have to actually send this out to you unless you somehow watch these videos, and I hope you do. So you just downloaded your first cross-stitch pattern, but you're slightly confused. Oh, actually, I think you emailed me, so I think I helped you. But in case somebody else is out there. So everybody in the past, not everybody, a lot of people in the past would always tell you to start in the middle of a pattern. And then, you have your fabric, and then you basically find this, you fold it, find the center of your pattern, and that's where you start. You stitch out from there. But see, I use full coverage cross-stitch, so my stuff takes the whole thing out. So if I'm starting one of these full coverage cross stitches that have multiple pages, then what I basically do is I just go to the upper left corner, because that's kind of how I start everything, and I kind of try to measure out 3 inches across and 3 inches down, and then that's where I start. And if I'm not perfect, which I usually am never perfect, rarely if ever, that's where I start, and a good framer will be able to kind of fix any errors that you might, if you get a little too close or whatnot. So, but yeah, that was taken care of via email, so that's good. Sharon Wolfgang. I have a lot of Sharons on my channel. You're behind in FlossTube videos because of the holidays. Man, you have a lot of people came visiting you. That is awesome. I'm growing a small animal farm. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I want a baby goat. Honey, I want a baby goat.
Let's go get it.
All right, let's go get one. They have one at PetSmart, right? Amazon. I'll get one from Amazon. They deliver everything. Mibello asked my new start be the one that you mentioned to me from Diana70, the exquisite Ponte Vecchio. It's not Ponte Vecchio. By now I think you saw it. It is the Thames, or the Thames, Thames River, Thames. Oh, I can't wait. I got the fabric for it. I can't wait to get started. Janet asked me, on my Ronnie Rowe pieces, you have done some in 14 and 18 count. Which count do you prefer on those projects? I think I've done everything in 18 count on Ronnie Rowe. Pretty sure I have. I started off with 18 count, and I think I wanted to be, everything's roughly the same size, so I think it's all in 18 count. What count do I prefer on those projects? Now, Ronnie Rowe, I prefer 18 count if it's the pen and ink designs, just because everything will be uniform for the most part and be roughly the same size when it's all done. So you won't have one that's super big or super small. You know, I like to be able to see them. But in terms of anything else, it really just depends on what the designer recommends or what they think would be good. If I can get away with 14 count, I don't care about how big it is, because 14 count for me is just easier to deal with, easier for me to see. But, you know, like the Wonders of the World project, they recommended that you don't do it in anything larger than a 25 count. So they only gave dimensions for a 25 count and 28 count. So I picked 25 count because I did not want to do that project that large with teeny little stitches. And it's already large enough as it is. You guys hear Coco? What? Let me go get her. Go. This is our old girl, Cocoa Puff. Cocoa Puff. Oh, breath. I can do dentals on you every 6 months and it still stinks. Oh, there you go. Off she goes. She was upstairs. She was actually upstairs eating the cat food. Good job, girly girl. Ooh, dokily. Diane started Iceberg Reflections from Cross Stitch Collectibles almost a year ago and just about gave up, and now you're feeling empowered. Do it. I don't even know what that one is. I'm gonna have to go look at it. Oh, Babel also wanted to know, why is Golden Kite so expensive? How can I say this? I think that most likely the reason why it's more expensive than a lot of other patterns is because of, you know, when I'm doing Old World Map 2, there is an absolute difference in the detail. There's a lot of colors and there's a lot of detail and they're complex. I think that it just takes more time to get the pattern just right, and it's their prerogative as well. I mean, I've done cross stitch collectibles and I love the way those things turn out, but when I'm looking at Old World Map 2, the quality of the pattern is like ridiculous. It is so, like, even what little I've done of it is so like unbelievably beautiful that when the whole thing is done, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And certainly it's one of those things where it's going to take me years to finish. So if I pay, you know, $60 or $70 for that pattern, I'm okay with it because I want to support them. And obviously I think they've put in more time developing that pattern than perhaps others have. So, but it's just definitely, everybody's got a different, you know, viewpoint on that. And I think if you got one of them, even if you got one of the mini ones, I think you'd see why they do charge more than some. But that's probably a question for them, you know, as far as like why they're more expensive than maybe a lot of the other places. But it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. All right, where am I? Whew, I'm tired. I'm not napping today. We have football starting in about an hour and a half. Hey, Angela. Have I missed a video? Oh, I watched one but thought you videoed twice a week. So, video schedule is Thursdays are the weekly updates. Saturday, Sunday, I do the Stitch With Me, although I didn't do it this past week because we were out of town. And then every other week I do the interlude videos, and then once in a while I'll pop out like a tutorial or something. So I think I'm on schedule, other than missing the Stitch With Me, which is part of the reason why I want to get this done, and I want to get this out on Sunday today. Get this out a little earlier. Sweet Home, Alabama. You would love football. That was a rough title game. That was a rough title game. Nice. Colleen goes back and forth between Bag Balm and O'Keeffe's Working Hands. I've had a few people ask, or I have a lot of people comment on moisturizing. I also use, there's a Burt's Bees cream project, what's the word? Not project. Product. Product. And literally what I'll just do is I'll just dip my thumb in it and then rub it around, and that'll help. But I've actually gotten better in the last couple weeks. I got a gift of some really nice, I couldn't tell you what brand it is, but some hand cream, and I've been using it in the mornings before I leave for work, and it seems like it's helped. All right. Oh, Sue from Indiana says that Thames has more of an A sound in the first vowel than I sound. It does? Thames? The Thames? But it's Thames, right? Not Thames. Thames? Thames? I can't speak English. Thames. Susan says it's pronounced Thames. Lisa says I pronounced it correctly. In the UK, we pronounce it Thames. Everybody's telling me how to say it. That's funny. Oh, man. Nice. Oh, nice. Hey, Deborah Story from Australia. Oh, man. It's hot down there, isn't it? It's hot. I wanted to ask about your lettered stitches. For example, Lizzie Kate, what is your process? As I see you start at the top. Yeah, I usually start at the top when I'm doing letters. Like, I've got a few projects that I'm doing letters on right now, and I usually what I'll do is I'll start at the top part, and I'll stitch far enough along, get a couple words in or whatnot, you know, maybe about 3 inches or so, and then I'll actually come down and like do the next row and do the next row and do the next row, and actually come down on the vertical side along the side. And that's just to make sure, like, because the hardest part of doing a anything that has like a lot of text in it is making sure that everything is properly spaced. And if I can get past that first part, making sure that I get this row and this row and this row lined up appropriately, then stitching it going forward is a lot easier, because a lot of times once I get all the way down, then I'll come back and I'll go along the top, and then the next row as I go, I can double check myself for my stitch, make sure that I'm still lined up where I'm supposed to be. So that's kind of how I do it. I hope that answers your question. Oh, Angela. Oh, Angela. You say you went to Diane's 70s Etsy shop and you ended up putting 8 projects in your basket. Oh, that included you not getting through all the shop and taking a few out. She does great work. The Stormtrooper that when I put Coco up on the thing, this whole thing fell off, so I just threw it back up there and I didn't make it look nice. But yeah, I'm definitely going to put her in the different stores and whatnot. And the thing that I really appreciate about what she does is, I think she understands about how people can be concerned about buying a project on an Etsy site and not being sure as to the quality of the stitching that will come from it. You know, will you actually, when you stitch it, will it look like what the picture is, or will it be fuzzy and, you know, not look quite right? And so for the Thames project, she basically has somebody's working on it right now, and she included pictures of like the top so many rows basically, and you can see it looks just like the picture. Dudes, that looks so good. That reminds me so much of my New York City 1909 or whatever thing it is that I got from Cross Stitch Collectibles, because it doesn't have a ton of colors, but yet it's going to be so dramatic when it's done. I'm really looking forward to stitching that. I really am. I can't believe I got another one, but you can't do it. You can't help what you love. Nice. Isabel's Moments with Crafts thinks that I should have a focus piece for each week, where I make sure, like, I may stitch on others, but there's one piece that I get more done on than anything else. I think that's a great idea. So like this week was Rainy Waterloo Place, and I'm not even going to show it to you. Well, I may put it on the blog, but I won't show anything else to you guys. But I'm very happy with it so far. But I think it's a great idea. Have I ever thought, who's your apple? Who's ya? Have I ever thought of doing a video of me kitting up a project? Well, see, I would kit it differently than everybody else does. I mean, I can certainly do that, but I kind of talked about it in my how to stitch a large cross stitch project. But now, as you see behind me, this is my organization system. So I don't really kit it up anymore, other than I just make sure that if there's certain colors that I know I don't have, I get those. But other than that, I don't necessarily like put everything in like a baggies or this or that. And so I don't know how well that would work out, because I don't do that anymore. Oh, nice. So many people. Hey, Joy. So many people love the birds. Definitely gonna have to do a bird video. That's really easy to do, because that's chirp and talk and chirp and talk. Beth Pierce, we did not ski up in Estes. I'm sure there's somewhat close, probably more likely Nordic skiing, so the cross-country skiing. There's not really like vertical skiing, downhill skiing, vertical skiing. That would be bad. Yeah, there's not a lot of skiing up there. And you know what? We didn't go into the park. For those of you who are not in the United States, you may not realize that, well, our government shut down. They're closed. And so as part of that, a lot of the national parks have been affected by it. We know that there were people going into the park, because we were pretty close to the entrance, and we saw people driving up to the park entrance. I don't know if anybody was working there, but there were definitely people going into the park. But I don't know like how much they're policing the park. You know, you want to make sure that there are certain things not removed from the park. The thing about Rocky Mountain National Park is that there's always your occasional, how do I say this, not very bright person who thinks that they can take a selfie with an elk or something along those lines. I do have some video of elk in Estes while we were there. That might get a little too close, and people have been hurt, and I don't know. We really didn't want to go in there, just because we didn't want to get mad if we saw things that we didn't really like. I can't talk. Anita asked, I didn't mention Tower of Babel in my FlossTube. I didn't have a picture up. I'm working on Tower of Babel, so that's actually easier than the Greenwich Village project, because right now, like at least the first page, there's only about maybe a half a dozen different blended floss things basically to do. So I actually got some stitching done on it, some good stitching done on it, and but tired. but anyway, so yeah, I'm working on it, and I like it. Park and threads. So Janet wants to know, do you need to start parking? It seems like my videos I don't park. I don't park because I'm constantly moving my projects around. My projects are, you know, I'll stitch down here, I'll stitch at the table, I'll take them upstairs, and the dogs are nutty. And because I switch so much from project to project, I always want to kind of tidy up when I'm finishing stitching, just because I always feel like if I leave something out, leave things hanging, that it's not going to be good when I come back to it. So that's just my particular thing. I think a lot of people park and love it, And, you know, it would be one of those things where you could park like Ronnie Rowe and whatnot. That would be great. But anyway, I'm almost done. I'm kind of running out of gas. Sue, I hope you find this video, because you were watching my Know Your Needleworker video, and oh, that's awesome. You're very sweet. You're very, very sweet. That was a fun video when I had like 20 things that about me. I'll put it at the end of this video. If you guys want to go check it out, you can. Will parking save time? I'll have to do a blog post about that. That's a really great question. I was actually thinking about it. I don't park, but that doesn't mean that I shouldn't. Doesn't mean that it's not a great way to do it. And I don't think it's as complicated as you think it is. I think it's just a matter of explaining it in a way that is concise and clear. That's how most things. And I'm a visual person, so bum ba ba bum, bum ba ba bum. Jocelyn spent some happy hours on the websites that I talked about in the blog. Hours and hours and hours and hours. Amber Marie in Arizona. You were moving. Hope you're good. Pet all the puppies. I petted all the puppies when I got home, for sure. They were very happy that we were home. Oh, excuse my husband. That was funny. That reminds me, we were taking a video. We were at Esses, and we were like, the back of the little condo that we were staying in was like, there's a stream and these beautiful trees, and it had been snowing and everything. And he set his camera out, so he went outside and he was just recording. You could hear the water in the stream. You could hear the wind blowing through the trees, and it was just really pretty. And then all of a sudden, like 30 seconds into the video, you hear me let out this huge sneeze from inside the room, and he was like, well, that just ruined that. That ruined the ambiance. He's getting me back. It's all right, honey. Oh, goodness. Vanessa thinks that I'm a terrible enabler. Kitted up Rainy Waterloo Place. You're not hooked on cross-stitch collectibles. Yeah, there's just not enough hours to stitch everything. You need to clone yourself. If you figure that out, let me know, because I need to do that too. Oh man, there are so many great cross-stitching places, guys. So many great. Oh, so Jessie asked, how do I decide which fabric counts to do for each project? I talked about this earlier in the video, but a lot of it is what they recommend based on the design. Like if they recommend a 25 or 28 count, I'm not going to do it in 14. I do look at the ultimate size of what a project will be, and I know from history, like all my cross stitch collectibles are done in 14 count, because I know that they're all going to roughly be about the same size. So I'm okay with that. I said we always talk about Ronnie Rowe. I always do an 18 count. I usually go by what the recommended bit is, and if I can stitch a bigger size, I will. That's how I do that. That makes sense. You know, everybody has their preferred fabric. Usually, if you have more than a few projects going at one time, you may get to a point where you develop a certain liking for some fabric over others, and you may want to just stitch on that, because if you don't enjoy the physical stitching, if the fabric is fighting you or you're fighting the fabric and you're having a hard time, it's going to be hard for you to finish, and you may just give up and not want to finish it. You've got to make sure that when you go into it, that you love what you're doing. Jane, I'm so sorry that I did not do a stitch with you. We all need to retire. Yes, we do. Eventually, we'll all be retired. The Tim's is, I did that, I think, I'll have to tell you guys for sure on Thursday, because I got 3 projects, and I actually got 1 in 14, 1 in 16, and 1 in 18 count fabric. And I'm going to have to go back and look and see what I actually ordered for what. I wanted to try 16 because I've never done 16 before. Wow. So Laura Green reached out. Handwork maniac. All right. I haven't had to make a lot of notes today, which is good. Handwork maniac. Boss daughter just finished her piece. She said it took her 11 years to finish. Nice. I could see that. I mean, there's a lot of projects that I have that are going to take ridiculous long time. Oh, nice! Stitch and Button got 272 words. That's the Lincoln. Is it Gettysburg Address? I think it's the Gettysburg Address. I have that. When I finish the first Lincoln piece, I gotta go and do others. Start Space Traveler. I had somebody ask me somewhere in here about where I got Space Traveler. I've had Space Traveler for years. I got it off of Haid years ago. And I had help from a little friend help get me the page for the color chart. I needed that in the first page. So, but I've actually had that pattern for a very long time. Nice. Dothrakira. Oh, that's got to be a Game of Thrones thing. Dothrakira. I think it is. Oh, man, I got a lot of Game of Thrones to watch. I'm only like most of the way through season 1. That was like 2 months ago, 3-4 months ago. I gotta finish it all by March, April. I got a lot of work to do. Ha! Jackie ordered the Thames. You have the tavern from Ronnie Rowe, so it's a difficult decision on which to start first. Start them both. So when I do Ronnie Rowe, and in the midst of all my other stuff, what I'll usually do is I'll pull out so much floss, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to stitch all this floss, and then when I'm done stitching all that floss, then I put it aside and I stitch on other things. But you can do it any way you want to, but I'd say start both. You can certainly start Ronnie Rowe, but there usually is a point. Sorry, I've got like no, I thought it was dog hair. It's my hair. I'm all like, I put my hat on because I didn't do anything with my hair. Not that I do anything with my hair. Gotta put that aside. Put that aside so I can see you guys. Hello. Oh, nice. So you printed the Tim's pattern, and the 10 by 10 blocks are not as clear as you would like. So that is actually an issue with Stormtrooper too, and Stormtrooper as well. I don't have it. I don't have it with me, but so on that one, that's the only one that I have to do this with. But I actually take a pen, like a regular pen, and I just draw the lines onto the pattern so that it stands out a lot more. But for those of you guys doing Stormtrooper, I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, and maybe she cleaned the pattern up, I don't know. But if the Thames is the same way, and I haven't printed it out yet, all I did was print out the picture, but print out the first page and take a look. But that's, if you can't see, the 10 by 10 blocks, then just go over it with a pen, just to make them more visible to you. And it really helps, especially if you're gridding. It really, really helps. Nice. Ah. You guys are funny. Well, I'm just about done here. You guys are awesome. Magic Pond Crafts is Stitchin' Traveler. Noise. I got to add more stuff onto the project board. You guys pointed out that there were projects that I had not put up on the board, so got to do that. Nice. Paula does not use blended thread. She looks for hand dyes, over dyes that look like the called for colors. That would be very interesting. My concern with that, and maybe you don't have this problem, would just be running out of it before you finished, and maybe you couldn't get the right. I've definitely done the hand dyed floss, and I don't always get a consistent color. Like, I forgot which project. Oh, it was E Pluribus Unum. Like, there was definitely differences sometimes in that floss where some of it was darker, some of it was lighter. And it probably all works out in the end. I don't know if I really noticed it so much now that it's done, but while I was stitching it, I was like, man, this skein is like a lot lighter than the last one was. And so, to each their own. That's the great thing about cross stitch, is that it's completely customizable for whatever you like to do. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And that's all for today. That's all for this week, guys. So we'll be doing a weekly update here soon. I gotta get back in my normally scheduled routine. I'll stitch a little today, but not a lot. I stitched a lot this weekend. A lot. And you guys will see that. Check out the blog if you haven't. Ask me your questions down below, because I do get to them. Sometimes I get to some of them earlier than others. Nice. FlossTube Canadian Stitcher is also doing a project board. Imitation is the best form of compliment. I agree. I agree. So that's awesome. I'm gonna have to subscribe to you. Let me check you out here. Aw. Wow. You do some Hades. Oh, that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna subscribe. Oh, I just missed out on being subscriber number 300. I'm 301. Sweet. That's pretty much it. I got some more things to do. Obviously, I got some organization to do. Got some blogging to do. But I'll see you guys soon after I get some sleep. And keep on stitching. I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.